High in Siberia's Altai Mountains, a yawning cavern hides in the limestone cliffs. This is Denisova Cave, an unassuming crack in the rock. But within its silent depths, archaeologists discovered something that would shake the human origin story to its core. In 2008, a tiny bone fragment surfaced, just a sliver of a pinky. But when scientists sequenced its DNA, they found it didn't match modern humans or Neanderthals. It belonged to an entirely new kind of ancient human, the Denisovans.
This was no mere evolutionary cousin. These people left barely a trace, yet their genes are still alive in us today. Populations in Southeast Asia and Oceania carry up to 5% Denisovan DNA. One girl's remains from this cave revealed something even more astonishing. She was a hybrid, born of a Neanderthal mother and a Denisovan father. In the flickering firelight of this cave tens of thousands of years ago, three types of humans may have gathered: Denisovans, Neanderthals, and our own ancestors, each shaping the future in ways we're only beginning to understand. But the cave offers more than ancient genes. Found among the sediments were objects that suggest an astonishing level of skill. A bracelet, polished green stone, delicately drilled, crafted over 40,000 years ago. A bone needle, complete with an eye for thread. Such artifacts defy our timeline of technological development. Who were these people that stitched clothes and shaped jewelry before Homo sapiens even reached the region? How did they acquire such craftsmanship? Denisova Cave isn't just a shelter, it's a puzzle box. Why did its inhabitants vanish? Why did they never spread far, yet leave behind a genetic fingerprint that spans continents? The answers lie buried in the loam and stone, and Denisova is not alone in its mystery. Beneath a quiet street in Malta lies another enigma. The Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, discovered in 1902, is the world's oldest known underground temple. Carved entirely by hand over 5,000 years ago, it descends 3 levels into the limestone. Thousands of people were buried here, suggesting it was not merely a crypt, but a spiritual gateway. One chamber, the oracle room, has acoustic properties that amplify sound dramatically. A whisper becomes a chant. Ritual, ceremony, something more. The people who built the Hypogeum left no writing, no explanation. They constructed megalithic temples above ground, yet chose to bury this one beneath the earth, as if hiding it from future eyes, or protecting something sacred within. Across the globe in eastern China, another site challenges all understanding of ancient labor. In 1992, villagers pumping water from a pond stumbled upon a vast underground chamber. They kept pumping and discovered more. Eventually, 24 massive Long-U caves emerged, each carved by hand from solid stone. Walls 100 feet tall, perfectly parallel chisel marks, supporting columns, staircases, and yet no records, no tools, no traces of habitation. Who built them? Why? Were they ceremonial halls, storage vaults, or shelters from an unknown threat? The effort would have required generations of planning, yet there's no mention of them in Chinese history. It's as if a civilization rose, built in secret, and vanished. And then there's Göbekli Tepe. In southeastern Turkey, rising from a dusty hill, are the oldest known megalithic structures on Earth. 11,000 years old, twice as old as Stonehenge. Here, hunters and gatherers, long before farming, erected towering T-shaped pillars in circular enclosures. Carved animals, snakes, lions, vultures, adorn the stones, and some pillars even have arms and hands, as if representing ancient gods or ancestors. Göbekli Tepe rewrites everything we assumed about early humans. These people were not settled. They had no agriculture, no cities. Yet they moved and shaped stones weighing tons. This suggests that the desire to worship, to build for a higher purpose, may have come before organized society, not the other way around. And then, mysteriously, they buried it. Thousands of tons of dirt filled the enclosures, perfectly preserved for discovery millennia later. Why would a society go to such lengths to erase its own achievement? Each of these sites, Denisova, the Hypogeum, Long-U, Göbekli Tepe, forces us to reconsider what ancient people knew. They raise unsettling questions. Did we underestimate the ingenuity of early humans? Are there lost civilizations whose names we'll never know? Were these structures built purely by human hands, or do they point to forgotten methods, ancient knowledge we no longer possess? They speak of ambition, of memory, of sacred truths passed from parent to child in stories now lost to time. Perhaps these places weren't just built, they were believed into existence. Every chisel mark, every carved symbol may represent a prayer, a purpose, a legacy carved not only in stone, but into the soul of humanity. As we continue to uncover these ancient marvels, one truth becomes clear. We are not the pinnacle, we are the continuation. And the past is far richer, far stranger, and far more ingenious than we ever imagined. We are only beginning to understand the scale of what's been lost. For every site uncovered, there may be 100 more still buried beneath forest, desert, or sea, waiting patiently beneath layers of time. What might lie under the Antarctic ice or beneath rising ocean tides where coastal settlements once thrived? Technologies now exist that allow us to peer underground without digging. Ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR scans. But even with modern tools, we are barely scratching the surface of ancient memory. Some believe these discoveries are not anomalies, but parts of a forgotten global pattern. What if humans, time and again, rose to heights of ingenuity, only to be set back by climate collapse, volcanic winter, or global catastrophe? It would mean our story is not a straight line, but a cycle of rise, fall, and rediscovery. Each ruin, each artifact, is a clue, not just to who we were, but to what we might become again. But what if Denisova Cave and its peers are just the beginning? In a remote region, scientists recently pried open a sealed metal gate. What they found behind it left even the most seasoned archaeologists speechless. The cave it revealed may be older, more massive, and so precisely engineered. It defies everything we thought humans could build.
These caves are incredible. I don't even want to call them caves because it's called the Barabar Caves, but these things are not caves. Does that look like a cave to anyone?
That looks
No.
like the entrance to a spaceship. That's
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's like a single granite
Vein.
One
vein.
huge piece.
Deep in the heart of India, shrouded in the mists of ancient history, lies a marvel of engineering and artistry that continues to baffle and amaze. The Barabar Caves, a series of rock-cut chambers carved into the granite hills of Bihar, India, the oldest rock-carved caves that exists to date. What secrets do they hold? How were they built? And what purpose did they serve? Could humans really have created this ancient wonder?